Go. Yay! Welcome. Hello. Good day to your Stadia. I thought of another one earlier. I thought this is going to be a future show. How about Radio Stadia? It could be like a podcast or something, couldn't it? It could work.
All we hear is Radio Stadia.
You could do it. I'm going to do it. Just watch this space. How are you guys? Thanks for joining us. We're a little bit late. Sorry about that. Usual thing, technical gremlins. Hopefully you can hear us okay. Thank you for joining us. Great to see you all in the chat already. Hey, Chase. Good to see you, my friend. Monkey, Wolock, and me, and Raven Anime. Superb. Thanks for joining, guys. As always, I have my two amazing co-hosts here. So just from the left, how are you, Raph? Good to see you back.
It's nice to be back. I'm doing all right, not too bad. Just trying to get my head around what's going on in the world and just.
Oh, you can't. Don't do that. You'll get a hell of a headache if you do that, mate.
Exactly. No choice.
Don't do
it. Politics, though. No politics.
No. We've had enough politics for 1 week, haven't we? How are you, Dunk? Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, I'm here for a 1 hour talk about everything.
About American politics.
About American politics.
Don't do it. It's not. No. It's not big and it's not clever. Nobody wants to hear it from you. Nobody wants to hear it from me. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, by the way, now that's us joking about it, just making that very clear. We are very clear. We do not step into that sort of minefield at all.
No, we wouldn't do it even if it was our own country, and let alone somebody else's. But it's happening. You went out, you voted. Well done if you did. Just quickly, it is growing. Those of you that tuned in on Saturday know that I shaved it all off, and I'm growing it all back for Movember, which is a cancer charity. Well, they're a charity for men's health, really. So they do awareness on prostate cancer, they do awareness on testicular cancer, and of course mental health. The money raised goes directly to them. It's a November only charity, which is so been going for some years now. The concept is if you've got a beard or a mustache, you shave it off and you grow back a better one. At my age, just growing it back is a treat. But there is a URL, there is a web address. I've set up. It's bit.ly /men911 MEN911, and my good friend Chase, who has become an amazing co-host of my new show Cloudburst on Saturday, who's also in the chat. He's doing this with me as well, so he's growing his back, and any pennies that you throw in there goes directly to very, very good cause, and it's international, so it's all over the world. Anyway.
And if you're a woman, you can grow your beard and mustache as well.
Yeah. Let's just check the time. How long did it take for Duncan to wake up? Here we go. Right. Should we get stuck into the news, my lovely looking folk? Yes. Right. Okay. Let's do it. Let's see if this week I can actually get everything to work. Fingers crossed.
The latest news from Stadia.
Yes, well, kind of. We've got the wrong screen up, but that's okay, because it would take... We didn't do too badly, though. Here we go. Right. So as we wander across to the fantastic cloudywithachanceofgames.com, who, of course, provide us with all of our news, and we find that the first news item of the day is that... completely from nowhere, I think it was yesterday or certainly the day before, we got... Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn. I've played both. Amazing games. Duncan, why? How? Why?
Yeah. Again, we're not going... I thought it was very interesting timing the day that dropped, but we won't go into that. And... I just don't know what's going on with that. I think we're just in the build-up to Uplay or Ubisoft Plus coming, sort of just trying to get the games out there as soon as possible. So, yeah, it's really good. You're right. They have been priced very competitively, basically what they were on sale price for on other consoles and on Steam and things like that. So, yeah, well worth picking up. if you're not thinking about getting Ubisoft Plus when it comes out in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, it's pretty good. Speaking, there has been a wee thing in the chat there about why wasn't this announced. I'm going to tell you why it wasn't announced. It was because of the American election. Google are very funny that way. They are not going to be tweeting. They're not going to be doing anything like that. They're going to be very, very low key. So don't be worrying that this hasn't been announced. I would say it's going to be everything's going to be announced tomorrow in a blog post, and we're going to get a full week's tomorrow.
That's a good shout. And also, don't forget, the subject matter of Far Cry 5 is in and of itself sort of semi-political. So, I can imagine that they probably thought safer to edge back on that. Have you played Far Cry 5 or the New Dawn, Raph?
No, but I have picked it up for those like amazing prices. I look forward to get into it at some point before this weekend.
They were amazing prices. I've played them both to completion. In fact, I loved them so much. I bought the DLCs and I went back around again. Amazing graphics, a fantastic story, beautifully developed and scripted. This is the quality I expect from Ubisoft. More on that later. But yeah, I think you're really in for a treat, Raph. Duncan, have you played Far Cry 5?
Yes, I have, and I have enjoyed it as well. So yeah, it's a good wee romp going about. It's a Far Cry game with the interesting story, which we don't want to dive into. But yeah, it's well worth it at that price. The only hesitant thing I'd be a bit iffy about it is only 30 FPS and there's no 60 FPS mode. It is just something to note. If that doesn't bother you, jump on in there. If it does, it is just something to bear in mind.
Yeah, I don't know that it ever did have 60 frames per second, did it? Maybe it did on PC, but I certainly don't recall. I certainly don't recall seeing it was a PlayStation. It's now available on Stadia.
No. On the consoles, I am 99% sure they both ran at 30 FPS, even the Super Duper, the Pro, and the Xbox One X. You have to get the Xbox naming convention. It's really hard to keep up with it.
I know, but a little birdie told me that someone is really looking forward to their Xbox. Maybe getting a confirmation at some point today that it's on its way.
I wonder who that would be.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I
wonder.
So get that one. That's a cracker. Also on Cloudy with a Chance of Games, we had where are we? Here we are. New games mentioned. So Murder by Numbers, which I hadn't heard of, and Monster Jam Steel Titans. Murder by Numbers, presumably an indie title, Dunk?
Yes, I'm muted. Yes, it's an indie title. But the interesting thing about that, I just want to be 100% sure before I mention this, is who the developer is. The developer are Metatronic, and what game do they have they developed?
Metatronic. Raph, do you know?
Is it Fall Guys?
Metatronic, yes, it is Fall Guys. So let's get some tongues wagging there.
Yes.
Let's see how that. I was just to say, if I'm honest, I think the Fall Guys train has nearly passed now. Not in a horrible way, just if it was going to be on Stadia, it should have been on Stadia a bit further back.
I think the reason for that was because PlayStation have got an exclusive, so they might get the second win when it goes on the Xbox and Switch, because it was mentioned that it was going to maybe go to Xbox, Switch, and Stadia a number of months ago. So maybe we may see it all come together, and it might kick off a second wave of this touchwood crossplay.
Yeah, and I mean, let's be honest. A lot of the titles on Stadia are not day and date releases. So I think you're right though, Raph. I think it had its ascension. It was a very rapid rise thanks to a lot of streaming, which has kind of come down the other side now. But that doesn't mean that it wouldn't get taken to the hearts of of Stadians. We need a new multiplayer, don't we? We need a big mass game, really, for the folk. So I'm looking forward to that one. The other one that was mentioned was Monster Jam Steel Titans. This looks good. Yeah, I know you're particularly keen on this one, Duncan, weren't you?
Of course. Yeah, I am of the opinion of let's get as many games as possible on the Stadia.
Yeah.
Because you never know what will happen. We've had so many people have said that this game looks absolutely rubbish, but when they've actually played it, they've actually enjoyed it. Because it probably goes to pro, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So yeah, to be honest, I think that could be a good game just if you get 4 rock stars at night.
Oh, look at it. It looks amazing.
Yes. And
what little boy doesn't like driving around in a thing with 12-foot high tyres on it?
Exactly. Yeah. See, I think it's got a nice wee party game to look out for it. And if you just go on with no expectations and just look at a bit of crack, I think you will have a bit of fun on it.
Yeah, but maybe without the crack, though. Drugs are not big and they're not clever, folks.
Hey, you're, look at that. I'm coming off of the Northern Ireland isn't here, and you're just picking on me. Everybody knows what a bit of crack is.
It was you said you could play it with a bit of crack. I mean, I was just making sure, we don't want to influence anybody, do we?
I know.
Come on. Raph, I can see the excitement. You're looking forward to this one.
Honestly, I don't know if it's my thing. It might be one of those games that, like you said, once it comes to Stadia, you actually get a chance to sit down and take a closer look at these sort of indie games, and you realise that actually this is actually a really good game, like Duncan was saying.
Yeah.
So I'm in an iron about it, but if it's there, I'll definitely give it a try.
Duncan, do you think there's a chance of us seeing these as stealthy pro drops before the month is out?
Ooh, 2 weeks' time, are you thinking, by any chance?
I was, yeah, indeed.
Yes. I think they have got something planned for 2 weeks' time because they keep on hinting and hanging. But I don't think we should get our hopes up because we know what we're like in the Stadia community. We get our hopes up and they're instantly dashed. And
true.
I think we need to keep our expectations low. The only thing I could see possibly happening is iCasters getting dropped as a pro game during that, because I think that's ready to go by looks of things, and they're still doing their tweeting and getting up the hype, and Eddie has to be in that game somewhere. He just has to be. There has to be a cameo for him.
100%. I'm just going to quickly whip across to our friends at Stadia Source. I think my internet's a bit slow tonight, folks, but we will get there. And the reason for that was AV1 coming to, or a new AV1 codec promised for Stadia. It's not going to happen. Sorry about this. Oh, here we go. Duncan, have you been looking into the new AV1 codec and what it could possibly mean?
Yeah, from my quick and dirty sort of look at it, it's basically just going to make things. It's going to reduce your your downloads and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's if you're playing over, you've got limited bandwidth or limited. Think Duncan, what's the word I'm looking for? Your capacity. What Rock said for me, because we don't worry about things over here.
What's he saying, Raph? I don't know. Crack.
No, we've got unlimited broadband over here, so
cap, like the cap on it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We have no network cap. We don't really think about these things. If you've got a network cap, this is going to be better for you because it's going to reduce how much you actually have to use. Basically, it's the thing I'm looking for there.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Go on, Raph.
I was going to say, does it work? I kind of understand the concept of what it is. I've been seeing people talk about it quite a lot, but does that work for all levels of, let's say, 720, 1080, 4K? Does it?
Yes. So basically what it is it's a bit like H.264 and a bit like VP8 and VP9, but they promise about a 30% better compression ratio. Now in reality, so a lot of people say, "Oh, this could be the next gen," but it won't. It won't make any difference at all. It's still going to be reliant on the textures and the ray tracing and everything else to make the game look better. But what it will do is it will, because it's 30% more compressed, it means 30% less bits and bytes sent down the pipe. So it means a lot if, as Duncan was saying, if you've got a cap on your data, or if you're out on a mobile, this is where it's going to be really good. If you're out on your cell phone, and most even on phones in the UK and Europe, where we tend to get all on our we don't have cap broadband, but we all a lot of us do on our phones. So I know you and I don't, Duncan, but a lot of us do. So in essence, it will mean that 30% less data pushed down. I've read quite a bit up on this, and I couldn't see any massive visual improvement with the AV1 codec, but I know where they've used it for things like Google Hangouts and Google Chat. It does look, we use that a lot, and it does look a little bit better than it was. It was quite potato. So I would say don't expect to see anything massively different, because the theory is that the quality should be indistinguishable to what they're using right now, VP9 or H.264, H.265, but it takes a little bit less data. So you should see, maybe a speed hike, which, again, I don't think that's a massive issue if you've got the broadband. But for those on, maybe a more restricted data, you may get it coming down the old pipe a little bit faster. So, yeah, interesting stuff for geeks, but not necessarily for everybody else. The other thing, which while we're here on our good friend Stadia Source's website, this is, I believe, US only. But Google announced a kind of free code Friday sweepstake, which was, I guess it was like a lottery, and if you're really quick, you could get a free code to download stuff, Dunk.
No, this was it was basically a lottery where someone was going to get a vendor's code just over in the US. They just decided to drop that on the Friday quite randomly. So fair play to them. They're trying to be a bit more proactive out there on the market front. So hopefully we'll see that maybe expanded out a bit. This gets me into my suggestion that they maybe need a UK or Europe account, like Sony has a PlayStation Europe and PlayStation UK, Xbox has the same, so they can do these competitions a bit more worldwide. But it's really good that they've actually started this in the first instance.
Yeah, I don't think the issue is that it's run from the US account. I think the problem is that literally the word sweepstakes, because that falls into UK gambling laws. So it's kind of stuff that we've had to do for clients, looking into sort of gambling regs and so on. And it's really, really, really tight in Europe. And there's only, even just giving code away, you've got to have, you've got to be upfront on whether it's meant, leads to some kind of a purchase, or you're advertising or promoting, and it's quite difficult to do. So I think a lot of it is more, they're just basically like, there's no point, because we don't want to fall foul of any international, gambling regulations. So it's purely going to be for the US. But you're right, though, there should be equal competitions like this around the world. And that really comes down to the UK wing of Stadia looking into what's required and making sure that it's taken care of. But anyway, I hope somebody did. Was it last Friday that this happened, or has it yet to happen?
This Friday.
This one coming, is it? Or was it last
the one that's gone.
Yeah. So some lucky fella or fella-ess got themselves a copy of Marvel Avengers. So good on you if that was you, and I hope you've been having fun with Thor, your Thor thumb. So that is essentially the news. How exciting! Nothing too major, but it was all good fun. So let's go to this.
What's up, Rokk?
What's up, Rokk? Look at that massive zoomed-in, hideous face. In fact, everyone's got a hideous zoomed-in face. It's terrible. Duncan, do you want to tell me what's? Should I tell you what's up? Do you want to know?
Yes, what's up, Rock? Go on, tell me.
I tell you what's up, mate.
What?
Stadia Super Saturday. What is it? Is it on
I
a
don't know,
Saturday, and how super is it?
It is on a Saturday, and it is really super. Basically, it is going to be. I have to get the numbers right here. I have to get the date right because I keep on messing up the date, as people know. It is going to be 36 hours of non-stop Stadia content with all your favorite and not so favorite ones taking part. I'm just joking. It's absolutely amazing. We've got basically most people in the Stadia community are taking part, and it starts at 11 a.m. UK time, and it runs to 11 p.m. on the Sunday. So it's a full 36 hours of non-stop Stadia. So if you're really keen, you can go through it. I know our first 24-hour ones, people were staying up the whole day. They stayed up the whole 24 hours and went through it all. It is going to be a big mix of content. During that, there's going to be talk shows. I think some Egypt is going to be involved in that. Who will name this? Is that right, Rock?
Are you referring to me as an Egypt?
Yes, I am.
Yes, Cloudburst is going to be, we're going to be doing Cloudburst on that day at our normal 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern. But we're going to be doing a big Stadia special. So it's going to be, I'm really looking forward to that, actually. I've just popped the Twitter account up online at Stadia Saturday. So people can keep track of things. I know you've literally just put the whole, because it's you and Stadia, Cloudy and Stadia Source working together, isn't it? So you guys have put the schedule together now and worked out who's going to be on and when and everything else.
Yeah, it is going to be on the 21st of November.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is 3 weeks, or not this Saturday, not the following Saturday, the week after. Mm-hmm. So if you're, the way I'm remembering it is, it's the week the PlayStation 5 goes worldwide. That is the week for it, or when a Cyberpunk was actually meant to be released. It's that week. It's that Saturday and Sunday, which we don't mention. And again, it is. We're just finalising. We're just waiting for everybody to come back that they're okay with the slots people have been allocated. As you can imagine, it's been quite interesting just to try and put absolutely everybody in. And it's going to be fun. And again, there should be something for everybody on it. So
it's going to be absolutely great fun. Raph, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I am assuming you're not going to be doing anything on Super Saturday.
Unfortunately, the time it starts is a bit.
It's all
and I can stream. So.
I know, and you're a family fella with business interests. You know, you've got half of London to run. I know what it's like being a megalomaniac, empire building fellow. Well, I don't know what it's like, but
it's a good day. So anyone that really enjoys different aspects of the Stadia community, and I think that they normally have quite a few different languages as well, so everyone can really get involved, which is quite nice.
Yeah, that's true.
I was going to say, yes, there is going to be a separate one. There we have got Spanish speakers, we've got German speakers, we have, I just need to double check here as well. So there will be foreign language streams going on at the same time. So we're trying to get it expanded out, or French speakers as well. There we go. French, Spanish, and German all going. So it's going to be good fun, no matter what language you speak.
This will be my. I think I'm just trying to think. Actually, I don't think I did the first one. So this will be my second one. But yeah, it was hugely. The last two have been hugely successful. I was a punter first time around. Hadn't got involved in the weird world of Radio Stadia at that point, but it was they're great. They're brilliant for bringing the community together. They're great to spotlight. I think the thing that I did last time was I pulled together a bunch of guys who at that time weren't particularly well known, but were trying to make a break. as Stadia content creators and have since gone on to do really well. So I'm so pleased. People like Martin, Happy Cloud Gamer, who works with you, Duncan, as well. So yeah, that was my thing. I wanted to try and help a few guys and give them a leg up, and it's great to see that they've run with that. So that's awesome sauce, as they say. But yeah, so we'll be doing a bit of cloud bursting this on November the 21st. But it's great for the community, and big hat off to you and Adam Penguin at Stadia Source, Duncan, because I know you put in a huge amount of time and effort to pull this thing together. So well done, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to say Adam is absolutely rocking at this moment in time, so absolutely fair play to him.
Yeah, no, it's great. He's a good chap, and them doing excellent work behind the scenes. So there you go. That's what it was. I now know I feel suitably upped. Raph, do you feel suitably upped?
Always. Let's go.
Shall we therefore move along and go to your very own feature? One of my favourites. Look, Duncan's gone off to get his suit on. There he is, back with his bow tie. Let's do this. Oh wow! Did you see that? We had a whole new Raph's review thing going on there. Let me just pull you up here. Where are we? We're on live stream. There we go. Brilliant stuff. I'll start this off. So yes, it's not November 21st. It is Watch Dogs Legion. This is hot off the press, this one, Raph. And of course, we got you streaming this the other day. So what did you think, or what do you think of Watch Dogs Legion?
So, if I'm completely honest, my first impressions of it, I actually prefer this to Watch Dogs 1 and 2.
Wow.
I feel like, I don't know if it's just because it's London, like my hometown, the fact that I recognise so many of these streets, these buildings, just kind of know the ins and outs of these roads, I think I enjoy it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And then the over-exaggerated London voices, and then you've got the chavs, and you've got the sort of slang.
Jafragan.
Yeah. And then you hear and it's not just like London voices, you also hear a bit of different cultures in there, like Asian accents, you hear a bit of African, a bit of Caribbean in there.
Yes.
So I really enjoy that because it reminds me of actual London and the eccentrics of it.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout. I mean, and they've really tried to reflect that whole kind of because that's the thing about London. It's incredibly cosmopolitan, isn't it? It's this kind of, you've got Europe and Asia and Africa and the States all kind of converge in this one huge town that is your hometown. Mm-hmm. What did you think of the story?
So, I haven't got that far in the story. Mm-hmm. I do love the introduction to the game. Without spoilers, it reminded me a bit of Kingsman. It was very Kingsman, especially with the computer.
Yes, good shout.
Bagsley? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I hadn't made that connection, but you're right. It really is a lot like, yes. Good shout, Raph. Good shout. How did you, look, from a kind of more casual gamer perspective, which was always the concept of the reviews, the Rokk reviews, would you say it was a fairly easy game to get into, or does it require a lot of time to kind of learn stuff and pick it up?
I think it's quite easy to get into. They give you the choice of. So let's say I'm going to talk about L1. So if you hold down L1, it will give you a range of different options you can do. Like, so say you did it on a drone, it would say hijack, disable, stuff like that. However, you can also just press L1, so it has little shortcuts, and it will just say disable, and you can just tap that. So I think it's much more inviting than the first two were. So I feel like it's easier to pick up.
That's a good shout, yeah, because in the others you had to choose one of the hacking objectives, didn't you? Whereas this one, you can just, as long as you've got your connection, your white lines connected with the object or the individual, you can just go for the main one every time. I know my daughter, my youngest, I say youngest, someone said to me the other day, Rokk, be careful because it's not meant for children. I said, no, it's all right, she's nearly 18. Just that she's the youngest. But she was a massive and is a massive GTA fan, and in GTA she just loves to jump in a car and skirt around, the LA, whatever it is. And of course here, it really is a good model of London, isn't it, Raph? I mean, I know you live up that way. I mean, I've got an office up there, and we got every year we're up there quite a bit for holidays and stuff. And so, we could literally go to the places that we know and they're really familiar, and they've actually done a good job of modelling them out, like Covent Garden and Buckingham Palace. You go there and you think, yeah, that looks like Covent Garden. In fact, the Apple store should be right there. What's this? Yeah, so that worked for her, and she loves that part. She just loves to pick up. For her, she's not too fussed about progressing the story. She just wants to immerse herself in the feeling of the city and the people, as you've said, the different voices. As you can walk down and you can hear somebody with a Caribbean accent and somebody else with maybe an Indian accent and so on. So yeah, it's great fun. In terms of value, I know at the moment it's a purchasable item on Stadia at full price, which I think is £59. Am I right? $65, something like that.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
But of course, it's also available as part of the Ubisoft Plus subscription, which we know is potentially weeks, maybe even days away from landing. So, I think one of the dilemmas for a lot of people was, do I pay full price or do I subscribe, play it elsewhere, and then pick up here when Ubisoft Plus lands? And that's a real dilemma. I think that's a genuine thought for a lot of people, including me. Duncan, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I may have picked it up somewhere else and maybe playing it somewhere else. But I am enjoying that. I can see Eddie saying US beta in the chat for Ubisoft Plus. My feeling is that it's a slight miscommunication, and that is them keeping themselves covered because of Luna rather than Stadia. I still think we're going to get Ubisoft Plus worldwide. I may be wrong, but I think that is more just that. So yeah, I'm really my quick take in Watch Dogs. I'm really enjoying it as well. I'm having a lot of fun in it, just running about doing mad stuff. It's basically. I think I described this rock as it's nearly Assassin's Creed, like without the climbing.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I am enjoying it for the time being. So I'm definitely going to get back into playing some more.
Raph, would you say, just kind of concluding the points that we normally cover off on a rock review, would you say if you pick this, let's just assume for now Ubisoft Plus doesn't exist because it just muddies the water, and let's just assume you've picked up the game, would you say it's good value? It is a AAA.
I'm going to say yes because of what's coming in December. So they have plans of opening it up to a multiplayer open world sort of aspect. So the fact that it will have a longevity, I think, yes. It's got value for its money.
That, I think, is all part of this. If you're going to create a subscription service, as Duncan says, GAS, gaming as a service, you need to build in longevity. So, it's really important that it's not just a 10-hour, 20-hour, even 40-hour game. You want people to... It's more like Destiny in that respect. So you basically play it forever because that, of course, is what makes you keep the subscription going, which makes perfect business sense. But it's great for consumers because, as you've rightly said, you end up with vastly more value in your purchase than if it's like... Having said that, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is, if you play everything, it's 250 hours, and then there's DLC on top. Have you platinumed it, Dunk? Look at him. Oh, I know why he's excited. Ladies and gentlemen, Duncan he's a proud father. Congratulations, Duncan. You just...
Thank you very much, Rock. Yes, I have platinumed Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I have 1,000 gamer scored Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Wow!
So yes, I like Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
That's actually a significant achievement. I played it for 70 hours, I think, and completed the main campaign, Odyssey, we're talking about here. I'm going to make an assumption. I don't know if you've heard anywhere, Raph, how big the actual campaign is in Watch Dogs Legions, but it's got to be big, hasn't it? I mean, it's a vast map, and they want you to play, as we've said, kind of stringing it out part of your subscription. Because, of course, if you've paid the $15 a month for a Ubisoft Plus account, it doesn't matter if there are 7 titles there that you really want to get into, because you can dip in and come back and stuff, can't you? It's a great thing about it.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
No, you did well to stop me, mate. I would have gone on forever.
I was going to say, for me, Ubisoft Plus, if I were to ever purchase it, for me, it would literally just be to test the game, test out several games that came that month, and then decide at the end of that month whether I was going to purchase the actual game myself or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because I find it, I think I find it a bit difficult with all that choice. I think it's a bit tricky for me because I would want to play everything at once, so much so that I would end up paying more for my subscription before I actually completed the game.
Yeah, I can see that. I think the one thing that would help you is that I personally don't think we're going to see a huge amount of Ubisoft titles landing under the Ubisoft Plus banner in the first instance. I was saying to Duncan earlier, if you excuse all of the Ubisoft titles that already exist on the platform, which now of course include Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn, according to the blog post that they posted a few weeks ago where they said these games are coming by holiday, it was only 4 more. And they weren't, that didn't include Legions or Valhalla, I don't think. So in truth, I think it'll be a fairly limited bag to start with, and you'll be looking at, for me, it's more about the games that start now, the Legions and the Valhalla and the Phoenix, moving off into next year with Far Cry 6 and so on. So for me, it's more about that stuff than it is being completely spoiled, which you do when obviously but you can go and play on your PC, and you can play on GeForce, and you can play on Luna if you've got an account. It's a great thing. It's pay once, play anywhere, isn't it? So it has its advantages. But I think it's a really good point.
Yeah, and actually, I was going to make a point, and I realised, no, I can't make that point yet. I will talk about that in our next segment.
And Eddie's just pointing out, just to let you guys know, if you don't know, apart from an amazing co-host on Cloudburst with myself and Clive and Chase and Avery and Lloyd, which we have episode number 2 coming up on Saturday. Eddie also does a show with Meg and Lynx called Trash Mob. That's Trash Mob something. So I'm sure it's not just Trash Mob on its own. And tonight they're covering Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which so far I've watched every show. They've been fantastic. The last week's one on Destiny, I just have to say, because anyone that knows me knows I'm a massive Destiny fan, 4,000 hours clocked, but I still picked up a lot of stuff that I'd forgotten or didn't know, and it helped me and spurred me on into going in this week and finishing off all the quests ready for the big DLC that comes next week. So thank you for that, guys. So go and watch the show tonight, because genuinely it's really, really interesting and informative. So there you go. Looking forward to it. I shall be definitely watching that. And they're a bit late for me, so I pick them up later, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? So there you go. Great. So I think we're talking a massive thumbs up on Watch Dogs Legion then, Raph?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Yeah. One of your best purchases maybe in recent times, would you say?
Let's have a look. Let me just think about that for a second.
Don't forget 6 pro games last week.
I didn't even get to touch pro games.
Sniper Elite 4. And the game that Duncan said he didn't like, but he did say, in fairness, that it's like Marmite. You either like it or you don't. I actually really liked it. So, that's fair shout. What's it called? Garden Beyond?
The garden the gardens in between us, or something along them. Yeah. Like I said, I think it's a game it's going to click with you and you're going to love it, or it's a game you're going to go, absolutely not for me. I do not have the patience and the and you're just not feeling it. But again, it's like we said before when we're talking about games. Games are a personal opinion.
Absolutely.
And some games people absolutely love, and some games people don't like. And Watch Dogs is a perfect example because myself and Raph are both really, really enjoying that.
Yeah,
So
I know.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, no, go on, Raph. You always do well to stop me, my friend.
I was going to say I think it is a tie at the moment between Watch Dogs Legions and Sekiro.
Aha.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Two totally different games. I thought that was you saying, good night, everybody. We're off. That's the big old streamer thing, isn't it? Push your hand onto the camera. Clive has been playing Sekiro, and he's been saying he loves it. I mean, frustratingly difficult, but one of his favourite games.
Yeah, well, I haven't found a game that difficult in a long time, so it is refreshing. So much so that I'm scared to actually stream it because I don't want to embarrass myself.
Put yourself down. It does look good, I have to say. I don't think it's my thing because, as Duncan knows, I'm not into roguelikes and games like Monster Hunter where it's kind of you get killed, you have to go back and start all over again and all that malarkey. It's not for me. I tell you what, though, Raph, I do think you will like. I know. For example, you like. Lost Words? Lost Words. Yeah, and that style of game, and I think this is not too far from there. It's quite interesting because you basically can go forwards or backwards, so you can like rewind or scrub your character's movements. But in doing that, you have to get just the right moment, and then to pick up a ball, which you then take and deposit, and it gets you to go through the next piece of the puzzle. But yeah, so it's simple. You'd love to do it with your kids, I think, or it's your little girl, isn't it? I think she'd love it. For me, it's definitely a family game. It's very clean, simple, very attractive. I enjoyed it, but I mean, I do see why, as you rightly said, Duncan, it's horses for courses. Marmite, as we say in this country, Vegemite in Australia. Brilliant. Thank you ever so much for that, Raph. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you missed it, as you can see, this is one of a series of playthroughs that Raph's been doing for Watch Dogs Legion. So get yourselves over to youtube.com/Raph Gaming and watch him play it, you muppets. You wankers. That's what we say in London, isn't it, Raph?
Yeah. Can I just say something? The characters I'm actually choosing in Watch Dogs seem to be Irish, and it's completely.
I saw that. Yeah.
And I don't know what is going on with that.
Do you know what, Doug?
Random.
The funniest thing, I was walking past a couple of characters, and there was a chap in full African regalia, the beautiful long kind of robes and the African patterns and everything. He said, "You're right there, mate. Would you like to tell me where to get to the pub, like?" I was like, that's so funny.
Have you heard the Northern Irish accents as well? There's a couple of Northern Irish accents. But the character I chose, it's like maybe minute spoilers here that you get a choice of characters to choose. I just chose one at random, and he's full on Irish, and I'm going.
That is so funny. How funny is that? That's brilliant. Brilliant. Right. Thank you ever so much, Raph. I've been watching you playing these. It's great. You've been doing a good job. It's great to see you back on the old streaming malarkey. Let's move along, shall we? So, Ask Cloudy. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by Cloudy with a Chance of Games. No, it's not really. But it is where we do ask Duncan a cloudy question, preferably one that's been given to us, but we didn't get one this week. So we're asking one because it kind of ties in with Raph's review. And that is, of course, Duncan, Cloudy, what is cross-save all about in Watch Dogs Legion?
Yeah, basically this is a big push by Ubisoft going forward. We've seen it in other games, but cross-save is basically you will be able to play this across all the different platforms, and you can save once and it will be uploaded and you can continue on your different platforms. So as we know, Uplay Plus at this moment in time is not on Stadia. So what this means, you could start playing this on PC, on Luna, if you've got access, Plus or GeForce Now, and work away, start playing on it. And when it comes to Stadia,
just wait your turn, Raph. It's his bloody slot. It says Ask Cloudy. You just had Raph's review. God, what? So, please, sir, please. I know about this, sir, please.
Stay silent.
Yep. And then you can then play across all the different ones. So you can start playing it now, and then when you play Ubisoft Plus drops onto Stadia, you will be able to play it. The only caveat is there is a wee menu you have to click into to say upload to cloud. So this is a big push by Ubisoft going forward, and basically they're saying this from all their games going forward now. They're going to be pushing this, so it will be play once and play everywhere sort of thing, as long as you implement it all.
Go on, Raph.
Go on.
I was just curious because when you do that upload cloud and download from cloud thing, it does already say upload to cloud, and then it does say Stadia. So I don't know if anybody has it on another console as well as Stadia, but I'm just curious to know if you can actually download that save from other places, because essentially you should be able to have like 6 saves. So you can have your 3 local saves, and you can have saves in the cloud, but when you save it to the cloud, it actually says what console it's from or what platform it's from. So it could possibly already be there.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know the specific answer. What I have discovered, because I've played it on. I mean, full disclosure, I subscribed to Ubisoft Plus, so I've played it on PC. I was going to say in GeForce Now, but of course it's the same. It's the Steam account. And what I've also found is that you don't have to save to the cloud. It does do it automatically. But you can force it to if you've. I think it's largely, for example, if you're playing offline locally. So if you had the PC version, you're playing offline, you had internet down. If you can, I don't even know that you can, but then you can catch up with it, which I've had to do copious amounts of times because I've got 2 PlayStations and I often play, Tsushima on one, upload my saves to the old PS Plus account, and then pull them down on the other PlayStation. So it's kind of a thing that I've kind of got into the habit of. But it's a really good question. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. Definitely, if I was Cloudy, I'd have researched that one for you, mate, since it was Ask Cloudy.
I was going to say, on one of my live playthroughs, I do kind of
Gobshite.
upload and download from the cloud. So I don't know if you can do that or have a look at that. Maybe someone can.
I think until we get it, I can't imagine why somebody would have subscribed to Ubisoft Plus and bought it on Stadia, unless they just didn't realise that Ubisoft Plus is coming to Stadia. But when it does go live, which I genuinely think isn't that far down the road now, given the launch of Far Cry 5, that will be something we can test, and we can bring it back to a future Ask Cloudy, can't we? Because I think that's a really good shout, actually, Raph, particularly as you've said. It does state that you've saved it for your Stadia account. Why bother to tell you that if it doesn't matter, if it's cross-save?
Thank you, Raph, for buying me Watch Dogs Legions for me to try this out. Thank you very much.
You're meant to be getting a copy of it from Stadia anyway, aren't you, mate?
I was meant to be getting one of Ubisoft, but unfortunately I have not heard anything back. There seems to be some issues of getting codes for. I don't want to get into the technical sort of things, but it's not Ubisoft's fault.
No, I know. I hear what you're saying. I'm reading between lines here. But yes, so it is essentially, the concept is that you can save it and pick it up on any of the other platforms that it exists, which is one of the great advantages of the whole Ubisoft Plus thing. And of course, any of the future ones, because EA are also bringing out a kind of cloud-based thing through Xbox, aren't they? So you kind of hope that you're going to have cross-save, cross-play, and cross-progression as the de facto over the next 12 to 18 months, maybe, on all the new games coming through. That would be something else. Lloyd says he hopes the interface gets improved. Do you mean for Ubisoft Connect, Lloyd? That's I see it as early days, but I hear you. I do hear you, and I think until it exists on more than just PC, in terms of the Ubisoft Plus, which of course it will very shortly. Amazon Luna on Tuesday the 10th, if you've got an early access account, and I just have this feeling next week for Stadia as well, but I haven't speculation. I've got no reason to base that on anything, but certainly in the near future. Then we get to see what real cross-save, cross-play and cross-progression feels like, and we can come back and report on that, of course. So there you go. Bleeding good question, that. I'm glad Anonymous of Cambridge asked you that one, Dunk. That was very, very helpful. Let's skittle along to this, which looks exactly the same as the last screen, but it isn't, because in the top corner it says thanks for joining us, and you can obviously hear there's a little bit of music in there as well. And this is the point where we say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It's been amazing to see so many people in chat tonight. Great to see Lloyd and Eddie and Lee joined us in there, Cloud Gaming Man, Happy Cloud Gamer, who started uploading videos again today, which I was so pleased to see. Great to have you back, my friend. Great to have you back. Rick Tone, brilliant to see you, Rick. I've been watching a lot of Rick's videos, actually. He did a great one the other day on Destiny and all sorts of stuff. Charles, good to see you. Just absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much for joining us. Most importantly, thank you to my two great friends, Raph and Duncan. Raph, thank you so much. Always an absolute pleasure. I've just popped your little Twitter up on the screen there. When are you going to be streaming again?
Hopefully Thursday, tomorrow, basically. So
awesome.
Thursday, Fridays and Saturdays. I'm trying to keep to that schedule.
And is it going to be Watch Dogs, or are you going to be doing any of those pro games?
I don't know yet, but if not, my go-to is Watch Dogs at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but I shall look forward to that. What time can we look forward to seeing you? It's early, isn't it? I know it's like, I'd sneak down past the family, quickly put the headphones on, nobody's heard me.
So normally between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m.
Brilliant. Do you know who else is streaming? Not a million miles off that time. It's usually just coming to an end, is Young Ray. So it's like midnight for him, and then it's like you do a brilliant relay. So he finishes, and he's made. I think he's been doing some legions, and then what you guys should say, right? Let's do a relay. So you can say, right, and now I'm going to pass you across to Raph, who's going to pick up and crack on with, and all the other night owls can then move along and watch your stream. That would be really cool. Duncan, my beautiful Irish friend, where can people see? Are you on later today? Have you got something on tonight?
No, I don't. No, it's tomorrow. It's after our other show tomorrow. I may have our more relaxed look at the week's news, making maybe the full cloud news. So we'll be touching on some of the other stuff which has sort of happened over the last week. So it'll be some good crack.
That'll be superb. And then Friday night, of course, we've got the old Rockstars at Night, which will probably be Destiny and PUBG, won't it? Until they release something like Fall Guys, we're doomed to play the same games in our loop. We're doomed. We're in our little loop. Hello, Dre. Good to see you. But and then all sorts. When's your next play along? Next Tuesday? Monday. Next Monday. Sunday. Monday. Sunday. Monday.
Sunday.
Someday could be Monday.
It's Sundays and Tuesdays they are on. So it's a chill out on a Sunday and a Tuesday play-alongs as well. So yeah, it's just Tuesdays and Sundays at this moment in time.
That will be absolutely amazing, and always is. Thank you, guys. Love you both. Great show as always. Say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. Thanks for joining. Rock out.